Good morning, podcasters. I want to share a tool with you that is great for people like you and colorblind people like me. And I promise you that it ties into podcasting. Stick around and I will connect the dots, just not the dots where you ask me which number I see. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. This is Good Morning Podcasters, and I am Fuzz Martin, a business owner, writer, former broadcaster, and strong pro-tan. Strong pro-tan, what is that? Great question. A strong pro-tan is a type of red-green colorblindness that causes the red cones in your eyes to detect too much green light and skimp on the red light. And this throws a whole bunch of things off, not just green and red. I often mix up blues and purples, yellows and greens, orange and greens, reds and browns, browns and greens. Sometimes it depends on the backgrounds and light temperature and all of that. I didn't know the Minnesota Vikings wore purple until I was in college. I once got pulled over for running what I thought was a flashing yellow stoplight. It happened to be flashing red. I proudly own a pink water bottle because Nalgene decided to call their colors Surfer instead of pink, and it looked to me like it was blue on Amazon. But that's okay. I proudly use it. And then I tell people that Nalgene is ableist if anybody asks why I have a pink water bottle. And back in the third grade, my mom couldn't afford Crayola crayons, so she bought me Kmart brand, which didn't have the names written on them. I remember getting in trouble by Mrs. Dewey for going too fast and not paying attention. And while those were probably both true, I have a minor disability, and she lacked patience. All of this is to say I had to adapt, and thankfully there's a tool out there for me. On Friday's episode, I talked about how I used to create websites, and as you can imagine, it was relatively difficult. I used to have to ask girlfriends or buddies who are designers to tell me what colors I'm picking and then help me with the hex codes on websites. However, sometime back around 2010, Adobe created a website called Cooler, Kuler, to help everybody find colors better. And then in 2014, they renamed the site Adobe Color. I thought Cooler was cooler, but it's their product and they can do what they want. Adobe Color is helpful for people like me because I can search for something like, let's say, dark red, and it will give me a bunch of color combinations that include dark red and then some colors that look good and go along with it. Then I can simply grab the hex codes, the CMYK or RGB settings, and then I'm off and running. This site isn't for colorblind people. I think this site is actually for designers who want to explore trending colors and look at different color combinations not inside their work that they're creating. You can use their Explore tab to find color combinations that are trending and hot right now. You can upload an image and it will create a color theme or find one for you that's based on that image. It has a contrast checker to be sure the colors that you select will be visible to people who are colorblind, and then it makes suggestions on how to improve your color combination. You can import your color libraries super easily. Like as soon as you save them, they roll over to Photoshop if you have Photoshop and Illustrator, even Adobe Express if you prefer to use that instead of Canva. And if you do use Canva, you can simply copy the hex codes from your Adobe Color libraries and paste them into your brand kit inside Canva. So how can you use it for your podcast? Let's say you're creating new cover art or social media graphics, or you're looking to rebrand your podcast, something along those lines. You can find a color palette and search through all the different color palettes that they have available, and there are thousands upon thousands of them. You can even create a color palette with one color, and then it will help you with complementary colors. And then you can save them to your library, and then you'll always have those colors at your fingertips when you're creating new work. It really helps making sure that you're staying on brand with your colors easy, whether you're in the 1 out of 12 men in the world who are colorblind, one of the 1 in 200 women in the world who are colorblind, or if you're more likely, one of those fully color-sighted people. Must be nice. Oh, by the way, it's also free. One other colorblind anecdote. Before I met my wife, I briefly dated a woman who was colorblind, and I just thought the genetics of this were interesting. if she ever had a boy child, that child would automatically be colorblind because colorblindness travels on the X chromosome. There you go. Dropping a little science for you here on Good Morning Podcasters. So check it out, color.adobe.com. Again, it's free. It'll help you get your colors in line and make your podcast brand better. That'll do it for today's episode of Good Morning Podcasters. If you ever have any questions for me or the show, I'm fully accessible. Email me fuzz@goodmorningpod.com. That's fuzz@goodmorningpod.com, or DM me on Twitter. New episodes come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, with bonus episodes of a show called Podcasting Sucks with Jeff Townsend on Saturday mornings. Podcasting Sucks is available right here in the Good Morning Podcasters feed, and all the episodes are available online at goodmorningpod.com. There we go. Kept that nice and short, down to about 7 CTAs for you this morning. Thanks again for listening. We will talk to you Wednesday right here on Good Morning Podcasters.